Joining me now to help break all of this down for us is Eric Wertheim. He is the author of this book. It's Combat Fleets of the World. We want to thank you very much for coming in. You heard Shweta's report, and in it she said that India feels that they have to have a strong Navy for the regional waters in this apparent arms race. What does this do in terms of upping the ante, so to speak?
Yeah, absolutely. India's aircraft carrier falls somewhere between a little smaller than China's and bigger than the helicopter carrying destroyers that are being built in Japan. And so what this does, though, is a ship like these aircraft carriers and large amphibious ships, they bring a couple of things to the region. One is power projection, the ability to project power where you would like to go, away from your home waters. The other is respect and prestige. And that comes with these big ships and powerful ships. And the third thing is that people often forget is economic. Jobs, the economy, these are very big ships. They take more than 5 years to build frequently, often 10 years for a ship like this that's starting from start to finish. And so they have a significant contribution across the board in the region.
You were talking about the respect aspect. What about the perception aspect? How should the neighbors be viewing this, or how will they be viewing this, do you think?
Yes, there does seem to be a bit of an arms race going on right now in the Asia-Pacific region. You have Japan, South Korea, China, and India, and also, of course, Pakistan that are viewing some of the things that their neighbors are doing and looking to build on that. There's also, of course, the Philippines in the region. A lot of countries feel threatened, and because of that, because of these contested regions that are happening from islands and just contested territories, there's a lot of insecurity, and as a result of that, we're seeing a lot of arms increases in arms purchases.
We've also seen the United States with the Pacific pivot. Does it kind of a domino effect? They do that, then all of a sudden you start to see these ships starting to appear, everyone kind of upping the ante, so to speak?
I think that as economies in the regions get more powerful, and they're going to be buying more ships to keep the status quo, the level of power as it is. Other ships, like other navies, like the United States, are going to be shifting there to keep the equation as close to the status quo as it is. So you'll see that some countries are going to want to change the status quo and become more of a power projection in the region. Other countries are going to want to keep the status quo how it was before and make sure that their navies are not overtaken by rivals.
What about clogging the lanes, so to speak? If we start to see all these big ships out there, you know, I guess one would think at some point you might see a miscalculation, some type of problems. Is that something to be concerned about?
Well, certainly I mean, it can happen in very closed waterways like the Persian Gulf, but they also happen, we have to deal with super tankers and things like that. So that's not so much an issue because carriers such as this are really designed to operate in open waters. And that's where they do most of their work once they're done with a lot of the training and coastal operations. Now, of course, regionally, these ships are designed to project power. And so they're not necessarily designed to go to the other ends of the world, although they could do that with the appropriate support ships and things like that. But we're really seeing a tide turning in that the navies in the Asia-Pacific region are really becoming a lot more powerful and capable in terms of not just coastal navies.
Let me ask you for your projections. Seeing this unveiled today, what's likely to happen? I mean, since you view this sort of thing and you've seen it before, are there other countries that are now all of a sudden saying, hey, let's go back to the drawing board, we have to come up with our own next big thing?
Yes, I think one of the areas that you're looking at, of course, there's aircraft carriers, and already China has said that they plan to build more. India is also building more, and submarines are another area that's increasingly changing the dynamic in the Pacific region. Submarines are very capable, and we're seeing a lot of countries that are investing in submarines and submarine technology. So we're seeing a lot of growth in this region, and of course, countries like Russia are significantly contributing to some of their arms sales, and as are other countries, France with certain types of submarines, and you have China trading with Pakistan. And so that insecurity and those kind of concerns have other alliances and all kinds of after effects. And so it's a very interesting time right now in the region.
Well, it's certainly going to continue to change over time, I imagine. So Eric, I'm sure we'll see you again. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.